Now, if you were in Fife last week, you might well have seen the flames of Mossmoran petrochemical plant flaring pretty dramatically in the night sky. Well, it's one of the sites causing concern for the environment watchdog. SEPA says compliance with environmental permits at the country's key industrial facilities has dipped slightly for the first time in 3 years. 90.5% were deemed satisfactory, a fall of 0.5%. But as our environment correspondent Kevin Keane explains, some sites are performing better than others.
The petrochemical plant at Mossmoran in Fife just last week. The giant flare lights up the night sky, alarming residents.
Mossmoran looks like from Calton Hill in Edinburgh.
In 2018, events like this meant the regulator graded them poor at complying with their environmental licence, although ExxonMobil is appealing. Since then, SEPA has been monitoring pollution levels and forcing the operator to make improvements.
What we are pleased about is that they've announced a $140 million investment to improve the plant. We're changing their permits, so this year they have to put what we call tips on their elevated flares. That will reduce the impact on the community. We're also requiring them over the next few years to put ground flares in and a range of other improvements. So we're working very hard to keep Exxon improving their performance, keep the investment going.
Another bad performer for similar reasons was INEOS at its Kinneil terminal. They were rated very poor, the lowest grade possible, and say they've since made a big investment. Also poor, Edinburgh Airport, pulled up for allowing de-icer used on planes like this to run into drains, although new machinery has since been introduced to reduce the impact. But held up as an exemplar is the company which makes this beer at its site in Glasgow. They've been graded as excellent for a third year running, with the wider food and drink sector also performing well.
Consumers and customers expect it. The climate crisis is clear to all. Every day you look in the newspapers, on the television and radio, you can see the importance to our consumers. So it's extremely important to ourselves.
Of course, all industries have different processes, some of which will be more harsh on the environment than others. But what the regulator wants is for all sectors to at least aim to achieve what's been done by the food and drink sector.
Some residents have said the regulator's not done enough to tackle the problems at Mossmoran. SEPA says it is acting and that poor performance is being tackled. Kevin Keane reporting Scotland.
And there was a further development at Mossmoran today. As many as 170 workers employed by a subcontractor at the plant have staged an unofficial walkout. Well, our reporter David Cowan is in a very wet Fife for us tonight. Dave, do we know why the workers have done this?
Well, there's a bit of a dispute about what started this dispute. Because of the problems highlighted in Kevin's report there with flaring, Mossmoran is currently undergoing a £140 million improvements programme, and there are a lot of subcontractors on the site at the moment. Now, earlier this week, a group of workers for one of the subcontractors stopped working in an unofficial action. We've been told it was because of working conditions. And in support of them, a second group of workers from another group of subcontractors stopped working as well. Now, that has led to the second group of workers for the other subcontractor being told, apparently, that their wages are going to be docked for stopping working. And that was what led to this walkout today, involving as many as 170 employees of the second subcontractor, if you're still with me. Tomorrow, officials from the Unite Union are going to meet management from the second subcontractor, Bilfinger UK, to try and get this resolved. It's not affecting the running of the plant, but it is more unwelcome headlines, another unwanted headache for Mossmoran.